بنتواصل معاكم ومكملين مع الجلسة الخامسة في يومنا الأول، وهذه الجلسة بعنوان ريادة الأعمال من منظور جديد كلياً. تدور محاور هذه الجلسة حول حياة رواد الأعمال، حيث يقدم لنا المتحدث جوردن كيسي، وهو أحد أصغر رواد الأعمال في العالم، لمحة عن حياة أعمال رائد شباب، ويرسم أيضاً طريقة لكيفية دعم الحكومات والمنظمات لرواد الأعمال والقادة الشباب. أريد أن أنوه أن الجلسة ستكون باللغة الإنجليزية، ومن يود الحصول على جهاز الترجمة، أجهزة الترجمة موجودة عند البوابة. شكرا لكم.
Okay. Hi everyone, thank you very much for coming. My name is Jordan Casey and the title of my talk is Redefining Entrepreneurship. In my talk today, I'm pretty much going to tell you a little bit about me, my story, what it's like to be a young entrepreneur, and also my vision for how we can nurture the next generation of young entrepreneurs like myself. So let's get right into it. I'll tell you a little bit about me first. I'm 19 years old. I'm from Waterford in Ireland, which is a small city in the south of Ireland, just about 2 hours from Dublin. We're not really known for our technology startups that much, but we are known for our crystal, Waterford crystal. So that's the highlight of my city. I'm a self-taught programmer, so I taught myself how to program and write code at the age of 9, which helped nurture what I do now. And I'm also an entrepreneur, so I've started a couple of businesses, which I'll tell you about in a minute. And I'm still a kid, well, for now anyway. So my last couple of years being able to say that. Going right into it then, I'll just tell you a little bit about my story. Growing up as a kid, I was always very curious and enthusiastic about how computers worked. I always used to try and work around them or figure out how systems worked, mainly for the benefit of cheating on video games so I could beat my friends. At the age of 9, I used to play a game called Club Penguin, which is this online platform where you play as this little penguin and you chat to other people around the world. And I saw that some of the people who were playing this game were making websites and blogs about it. And this was something that I was interested in, being very curious, and something that I thought I'd try and discover how. So basically, I taught myself how to write websites using YouTube, watching videos, reading different books. And after a while, I had my own website up and running. Running my website for about 3 years, I decided I wanted to pursue a new challenge, and so I discovered video game development. Instead of writing about games, I wanted to make my own ones. Through that, I discovered the iPhone development kit, which is the platform you use to create apps for Apple's platforms. The only problem with creating apps for Apple platforms is you need a Mac to develop apps for iPhone. And being a young 12-year-old kid, I didn't have a Mac, and also Macs were, for me, very, very expensive. So I needed to try and find a solution to get one, and that solution happened to be my parents. So I went to my parents one day, begged them for a Mac, and at first they were a little bit skeptical. They weren't too keen on spending a lot of money to buy this computer for me because they thought I wanted to play games rather than make them myself. So I did anything a mischievous little kid would do. I forged an illegal letter from Apple, pretending to be a high-end executive, sent it to my parents, and encouraged them to buy me a Mac, explaining all the advantages. And luckily, they bought it, they fell for it, and so I got my Mac. They were a little bit annoyed, though, when they found out the actual story a couple of years later. So once I had the Mac, I started developing my games, and my first one was pretty basic. It was like a version of Space Invaders, but it gave me that hunger, and it showed me that not only what I was doing was a passion, a hobby for me, but now it could actually be a career for me. So that's what I decided to do. I set up my first company called Casey Games when I was 12. We developed apps that sold thousands of units all over the world, and I managed to create a little bit of a platform for myself. Through Casey Games, I started another technology company, which was called Teachware, which was an education management system for teachers. I created that because I wanted to solve a problem using technology. My teacher at the time in school used a huge book to mark our students' attendance and our exam results and our behavior and things like that. And on the last day of school, someone robbed it. One of the students took the book, probably because the results were quite bad, but nevertheless, I wanted to solve a problem. In 2015, I started a startup called Kids Code, which combined gaming with education and created an online platform where kids could communicate with each other, but also learn how to program at the same time. So I've started a number of different companies, and through this time, I've become very passionate for things like education and promoting young entrepreneurship. I try to act as a symbol for what young entrepreneurs are capable of, and try to be a representative, because I'm very lucky that I've been very lucky to have the opportunity to gain a platform and to have a voice. But obviously, there's advantages and disadvantages of what I do as well. Being a young entrepreneur is an amazing thing, especially at such a young age when I started at 12, but also there can be some disadvantages as well, and I have a solution for how we can solve them. So starting with the advantages, I think the main advantage is I get a head start on what I want to do in the future. So I'm 19 years old now, and I'm able to say that I've been working in the industry for a decade, so which is pretty cool. And in 10 years, I'll be 29, and I'll be able to say I've been doing it for 20 years. I've been very lucky that I know what I want to do. I'm passionate about what I do, and there was no major obstacle stopping me, and I had the drive to pursue it. So I have a head start on people who might only start a career after college. I'm also, again, very lucky to have a platform. I'm very lucky to share my ideas, and being a young entrepreneur enables me to do that. Obviously, there are some disadvantages as well. Being a young kid, I also have to go to school. I'm in college at the moment, so it's a little bit difficult balancing my time with my businesses and my education, and also my being a kid as well. So it's very important that I have a structure and I stay organized to maintain that balance and to make sure that I take advantage of everything. Also, I found it's a little bit hard to be taken seriously as a young person too, especially when I was 12 years old starting all this. Simple things like finding investment or mentors or a platform have been very difficult for me, because I think it's hard to be taken seriously. I think people think young kids don't really have that entrepreneurial mindset, that it might only be a game for them. I think it's very important that we change this mindset. I think it's starting to ever so slowly change, and people are starting to become more aware of the capabilities of young people and teenagers. So my solution for how we can speed up this process is my current initiative, which is called TEM, or the Teenage Entrepreneur Movement. So I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. Basically, it's a planned global network of young teenage entrepreneurs from all over the world who can nurture each other, network with each other, and support each other. I think it's become very passionate. It's a huge passion of mine now, promoting young entrepreneurship. I thought my passion when I started was game development, and then I thought my passion was education. But I think my real passion is sharing, whether that be the games themselves, or my ideas, my views, my visions, or my voice. But look, talking about my vision, I think we should definitely take advantage of the youth of today. They're definitely the future, and I think there's a number of different ways that different sectors can encourage this, whether that be government, education, or the private sector as well. So starting with government, I think there's a number of different ways that governments can support what young entrepreneurs do, whether that be through funding, grant programs, initiatives, competitions to provide for young people. So initiatives as well, movements, giving people a platform and a voice, because the government obviously have a huge platform and they're able to promote young entrepreneurship. I think we can all take a leaf from the government of the UAE here. They really recognize the importance of young people. It's centric to their vision for 2021. They have a youth council and they have a minister for youth affairs. And I think this is a really, really strong platform for young people. And I think this could be I take this home with me anyway. But also the government have a huge part to play in education. I think education is the backbone of promoting young entrepreneurship, young creators, and young innovators. But I do think the education system that is most prominent throughout the world today is a little bit flawed. I think it's a little bit outdated. I think the format that we use for education has been in since the Victorian era. It's the whole idea of the teacher at the top of the class, students learning off the teacher, no real collaboration, and the entire point of it is at the end of a couple of years, you're able to regurgitate a load of information onto a page. And that's how we judge how academic we are, how we get into college and things like that. I think we should start to encourage more project-based learning, encourage group work, encourage collaboration, and also encourage entrepreneurial skills and characteristics. like communication, because for me personally, I think if you possess some of the characteristics and skills of an entrepreneur, it can benefit you in your wider life and career, not just if you're going to be a business person. My confidence has been boosted so much through gaining these skills. I also think we should encourage less intimidation. I found in my school in Ireland that some of my teachers are a little bit intimidated by the students. I think this is mainly due to the emergence of technology, that kids can have all the information in the world at their fingertips, and generally young people are a little bit better than some of my teachers at this. I think this is a little bit intimidating to teachers. I think this prohibits how we can take advantage of technology in the classroom, but I also think that goes back to the outdated format. I think we should work in a system where there's a co-learning environment, where the teacher learns from the student just as much as the student learns from the teacher. I think this can benefit us as a whole if we encourage more of this. And then talking about technology as well, I think education, especially in high schools today, really prohibit the use of technology. They demonize phones. I think if we encourage more technology use and embrace the power of technology, we can learn even more, we can learn even quicker, and we can learn, it just opens up possibilities. I also think the private sector has a huge role to play in supporting young entrepreneurs. Once again, they're able to fund, but they also are able to open up their organizations, provide resources to young kids and inspire them. At home in Ireland, I'm very lucky to work with corporations like Google and Facebook, who are huge brands to young people and are really inspiring to their ideas. And again, just access to resources and also mentorship. There's some really inspiring entrepreneurs and people that work in the private sector that can really be of use to young entrepreneurs, that can provide their experience and help them along the way. Just drawing back to TEM then, the organization that I've started. And basically the entire objectives of this platform is to provide resources through partners. So we want to partner up with corporations, with governments all over the world to provide support and resources to young entrepreneurs who might not have that opportunity. The entire inspiration for the teenage entrepreneurship movement came to me through my traveling around the world. I've been very lucky that I get to share my story, and obviously I mentioned I'm very lucky to have a voice. And throughout my travels, I've been very lucky to meet inspiring young teenagers and kids who have great ideas, who are extremely passionate and extremely motivated, but mightn't be as lucky as me to have the access to resources and the platform that I have. So I want to create a movement where we can support each other and show the world how powerful young people can be once given a chance and once given a voice. So that's how we aim to get resources through partners. We're also trying to get ambassadors and mentors, as I previously mentioned, to help fly the flag for young entrepreneurs, to help support, nurture, and provide their experience and their insights to the young people to further boost their qualities. We're also looking at government lobbying. So in Ireland, we want to act as a voice for young people to share how we feel about different policies and things like that, and to see how we can benefit as a whole. And then the entire objective is to nurture the next generation. Also, the name of the topic of my talk is Redefining Entrepreneurship. And I think this is very important to our objective as well. I think, especially where I'm from in Europe, there's a little bit of a stigma as to what an entrepreneur is by young people. When I ask my friends what they think an entrepreneur is, they think of a formal business person, suit and tie, which obviously, yes, some entrepreneurs are, but it doesn't define the whole picture. I think entrepreneurs are, yes, they're business people, yes, they make money, but I think they're also problem solvers. I think there's a real entrepreneurial mindset to benefit themselves, but also to benefit their wider community as a whole, and to solve issues and solve problems through their ideas and through their creativity. I think if we encourage this as the real definition of entrepreneurship, then we can open ourselves up to so many more young people who might be a little bit afraid about considering becoming an entrepreneur or considering going down that line because they have this one set picture of what an entrepreneur actually is. So if we can redefine entrepreneurship, end this stigma, show the world and young people that entrepreneurs are extremely creative and artistic, innovators as well, then that can open us up to getting more and more entrepreneurs on board. So that's the whole idea of trying to redefine entrepreneurship. The resources that TEM are looking for now, and we're making an open call to people who are interested. We're looking for partners, people who share our vision and our drive for nurturing the next generation of young people all over the world. to try and get involved. We're also looking for, as I mentioned, mentors and ambassadors who feel that they can share their ideas, their experiences to young people and to benefit them and to help them grow. We're looking for young people as well, youth advisors, so we want to be an initiative that's created for kids, by kids, and we need young people to get involved, to share their ideas, to share what they think we can do to help. And again, just that's the same, we're looking for young entrepreneurs to get involved and to get in touch with us. I also think that Dubai itself is extremely important to our mission. As a global network, we want to have teams all over the world. So we have a team in Ireland, we have a team in Africa, Mozambique, we have a team in the USA, and we have a team in India. I think it's important that we're globalized and we have teams everywhere is because different entrepreneurs in different areas have different needs and different requirements. So we want to create a tailored experience for everyone, and I think it's really important that we have a presence here in Dubai, the UAE, and also the Middle East as a whole. I think there's a huge possibility for creating a movement here because of the driven, intelligent, creative youth. I've been really lucky even just today to meet some incredible young people with some incredible visions and ideas who are definitely going to shape the future of this country. I think this is this importance is actually recognised as well, which is not very common today, especially in Ireland. I think the government here have recognised how important young people are. They've mentioned that they're the driving force behind their whole Vision 2021. It's the theme of this entire conference, and also they have a youth council. I think we can take these ideas back, but also this allows us to promote our movement in the country even more. And also, of course, there's fantastic facilities and education and technology facilities. That's why we want Dubai to be a hub for what we're doing, and hopefully we'll be able to nurture the next generation of entrepreneurs here, and also take the ideas from the UAE and bring them back to our global network. And just before I finish, I'll leave a quote that I like to mention a lot. It says, if you don't build your dream, someone will hire you to help build theirs. On the forefront, obviously, this is applying to people who have that vision, who have that goal, and just to pursue it. If you have an idea, if you have any sort of initiative, definitely go for it. Because for me, as a young person, I've come through incredible obstacles. As I mentioned, it's hard to be taken seriously. It's hard when you're put down to investment, to access to mentors and partners. But because of my passion and because of I'm motivated and driven by this, I've come to never give up, and I'm very lucky that I've done that, because I wouldn't be here today without that. I also think it's important for young entrepreneurs or any entrepreneur to have a support network, to have people around them that who are there for them. For me, it's my family. My family have made huge sacrifices to allow me to succeed. My friends are hugely important as well. I think you cannot succeed without having people around you and collaborating. I also think young people should definitely take advantage of the digital world we live in. The internet is the most powerful tool in the world, I think, and also our entire teenage entrepreneur network is going to be based around it. I think if I wanted to create a game, say 30 or 40 years ago, I would have had to buy an old computer, learn how to program it myself, create the game, then sell it to publishers, and then get it manufactured and put in the store and just hope someone could buy it. If I want to make a game now, I write it, and within a click of a button, I could reach potentially billions of people. And I think this applies to not only technology space, but also any idea or any business around the world. And with that, thank you very much. If any of you are interested in discussing more or talking to me more, those are my contacts. The Teenage Entrepreneur Movement's website is 10 worldwide, and I'd encourage anyone to get in touch if they have any ideas. So thank you very much for listening. Thank you.